Hey guys, Luna here, and we are back with Hiveswap Friendsim. Last we left off, we had 3 unique victories of sorts with our another lawyer, and then there's 2 times before, and the last time was a Bronze Blood musician. This time, we're going to go into Volume 9. We're going to do Glazes, Cool, and Tempers Hot, which I think that's a familiar face, isn't it? Yeah, so we're going to re-see a familiar face in this one, it looks like. Which is quite exciting if you think about it, since you never know with familiar faces. Part of you has always been taken with the idea of purchasing a one-way train ticket to anywhere and boarding it without looking back. Or, on your current case, stowing away without looking back. Details. The idea has always seemed so idyllic. No strings, no obligation, just you and your journey. The wind in your hair and the taste of freedom on your lips. It seems not exactly smart. Your little daydream didn't exactly involve careening across perilous extraterrestrial landscape, but then you always kind of like to think of yourself as kind of the person who's open to new experiences. That we are. Not to mention new friends. Yes, that's true. In practice, though, this tastes less like freedom and more like noxious muck, which is what you're currently surrounded by. Ugh. It's not like the slime that was in Skylar's recuperation, except the slime was really soothing, and this is prickly and burny and quite uncomfortable, which I am not surprised by at all. You thought you've been smart by sneaking on board, jumping into some sort of cargo carriage. Oh yeah, how wrong you've been. The trade-off for not being caught for the maimed and or killed for your blood color is apparently this. You've almost preferred the maiming. God knows you're used to taking a beating by now. I wish that wasn't the case, but here we are. So, notes, just so I can keep track of this. Azdaja, Knelax, and then which is a gold blood, and wait, isn't that the? Wait, I wrote. Oh, give me a second. Jade blood. Hey, and this is Konnyl's matesprite, which I'm gonna make a note of that because I actually wrote that down and I actually remember that, so that's actually kind of funny. And then Amnesia, which is the one that we did before. And I'll just make a note of again in my little notes, so bear with me. So that there. So Amnesia and Knelax. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but I mean it's definitely something at the very least. So after what feels like way too long, the vehicle slows down and you take the opportunity to tumble out of the slime jail onto the dusty ground, picking yourself up and hurrying away from the station before you can get spotted. Definitely a smart move, especially with everything going on. A little while later, you're standing at the beginning of a massive canyon, and and your awful train ride almost feels worth it. Does it? The canyon stretches on endlessly, miles of yawning chasms and winding ravines at your feet. It's enough to make your mouth hang and open in awe. After spending so much time in various grody parts of the city, the sight of pristine natural beauty touches your heart. Does it though? Does it really? You feel somehow inspired, like you could build out an area or draw a masterpiece if you tried. We discussed this before in the previous in the Amnesia one. We canonly cannot draw, or at least we dabbled, but not well enough. So, and I think that's the important part. But before you can explore your hidden creative depths, you're distracted by noises coming from not too far away. You're not alone. You know what this means. A chance to get yourself more of that sweet, sweet friendship. After so many successful companion ventures, you're thirsty for more. You pick up your draw and go investigate. The sounds lead you toward a trail along the sides of the canyon, which in turn leads you down to a roomy platform not that much lower than where you started. There's plenty of series of sharp outcroppings jutting out of the plateau, and perched atop the highest is the figure dramatically framed against the moonlight. At first, you think he's peering back. You assume again, this is the writers just not wanting to have to deal with explaining pronouns beforehand, but still, you don't know it's a he. Peering moodily into the distance, but then you realize he's looking through some kind of contraption on his face. Coordinates. You look around. There doesn't seem to be anyone else here, so what you heard was this fellow muttering to himself. You guess? I see. He's so wrapped up in whatever it is that he's doing, which I'm not surprised, that he hasn't noticed you yet. This guy has got to be hinkering after some company, being all by his lonesome out here in the middle of nowhere. You're sure of it. Let's see. But wave up and say hello. Sporting your most winning smile, you call out a greeting and give a jaunty wave. This gets his attention. Again, are you sure it's a he? Well, would you look at what the purbiest dragon? Are you lost? That depends on your definition of lost. That is. You prefer to think that of whatever you're doing is taking the scenic route, just like indefinitely. Your new acquaintance, hopefully soon to be pal, snorts unimpressed. Well, it would be better if you did that somewhere else. Better for me, which is the most important issue currently at hand. Let's face it, I still have preparations to make and I'm running out of time. You're kind of cramping my style here. Preparations? For the game, obviously. It's starting any minute now. You have no idea what he's talking about. I am not surprised. Seriously? You don't know about dual strifers? Wow, you're even more an empty-headed pleb than I thought. That's not very fair thing to say. Sure, you might have made a habit of running headfirst into stupidly dangerous situation, but there's no reason for him to assume. Your voice is drowned out by a cracking sound. He's levitating down from his perch towards you, sparking of energy stirring the sands up into a cloud. After meeting Sirva and Kupran, you've come to expect psionic powers from the trolls with yellow blood by now, but still kind of takes you back. You stumble backwards, falling on your butt. The troll is unbothered by your spill, continuing to address you while you sprawl on the ground. I'll explain. Dual strifers pits arenas Atariel's best and brightest against each other in a timed event designated to reveal the most skilled amongst the group. What can I say? I'm not surprised that this is a thing. Which would be me, of course. That goes without saying. Does it really? I doubt that, but hey, you do you, man. He tells you a bunch of other stuff about the mechanics that, to be honest, go straight over your head. He's apparently not in enough of a rush that he can't stop what he's doing to outline his plans to you, some random passerby, in a fairly detailed manner at that. He seems pleased to have an audience, actually. Wow, our friendship is barely off the ground and you're already doing great. Glad to do that. You get back on your feet and nod along sagely, pretending to understand all of his ramblings about strategy and what's not. And then you notice his blinking light. It's coming from the screen over his eye. Huh. Interesting. My scatter can't retrieve any data on these species at all. He leans forward and looks at you. Really at you. Up until this point, he's been paying more attention to his own voice and whatever readings he's been getting on his device. But now he's fully focused on you. It's starting to flush you a little. Actually, that is, until his mouth twists into a smirk. You catch a glimpse of a single jagged tooth. You know, it's technically possible to join in teams of two, but now that you're here, it's exactly... Is he saying what you think he might be saying? Excitedly, you clarify one of these asking you to join the game as his partner. Sure, I love teaming up with clueless nerds like you. No. You'd be a nice element of surprise, though. You use it as a collateral resource. Fodder, a lackey. What do you say? That doesn't sound nearly as flattering. But it's an opportunity to help, and you've founded so many great friendships on doing whatever favors random strangers have wanted you to do for them already. Why stop now? You'll be the best lackey ever. The title might not be much, but that doesn't mean you can't excel at it. You tell him you accept his offer. Excellent. By the way, I'm Knelax, but you must have known that already. Not sure why you would. Maybe some kind of big shots? Come to think of it, the name does ring a bell. Maybe you heard it before, when you were in the middle of infiltrating a band for the hideout with a mercenary, Konyyl. You met my matesprites. You must have gotten on the good side, or you wouldn't be standing here talking to me. Because you would be mincing grub paste. He's grinning about what he's really proud and fond about Konyyl being the sort of girl who'll make mincemeat out of someone as soon as he speaks to them. If he wasn't talking about her literally murdering you, you might find this reaction endearing. Hang on, Bea already has a partner, why isn't she here? And Adric's expression sours abruptly. My partner isn't here because she didn't make our agreed rendezvous time. He says the word partner in an overdone, exasperated huff, as if he thinks she might be listening from behind a boulder somewhere and he can somehow shame her into appearing. Remember what Polya said about mercenary duos often being quadranted in pairs, i.e. romantically involved. Did his girlfriend stand him up? Yikes. You might notice a slight cut here just because I had to go take a call, but anyways, make sure that you haven't been promoted to partner status if it meant getting involved with another couple's pet. You had quite enough of that already. I hope they aren't fighting. That would be really bad. Andrea glares at you. The exact nature of our quadrant is none of your business, frankly. Now come on, we're wasting time. He steps off the edge of the plateau, descending in a crackling energy and floating into the canyon lava lagoon. It's a terrifying ride, but the view it affords is pretty amazing. Soon, you reach the bottom. You should keep going. There's someone else in this valley. We'll get the drop on them if we move fast. He grins confidently, his cloak flapping behind him. There isn't any wind here, though. Is he flapping his own coat with his psychic for his dramatic effects? You will not be surprised. So, first blood to Knelax. You blink, tentatively. Blood? Yes, blood. You say, he says it in the same way he enunciated the name of this competition earlier, like it should have been painfully obvious. Like I told you, our aim is to take out our opposition, swiftly and painfully. Great, of course. Then you have to be the last team standing in this entire canyon. Weren't you listening to when I explained earlier? God, you've been proceeding under the assumption that this was some kind of elaborate competition LARP, live action role-playing, like some puzzles, get out of a giant canyon before the other guy type of deal. Perhaps arm wrestle your competitors into submission if you run into them, but no, this game involves actual violence. You probably shouldn't be surprised, you've been on Ontario long enough to discern that. Boy, trolls do sure love killing. You made friends with plenty of trolls who have less bloodthirsty hobbies, though. We ask him whether he's considered getting into excessively bodily voice poetry or streaming sick beats. Please, you're kidding, right? Now is no time for joking around. Don't tell me you've already gotten a frosty strut pods. Oh, cold feet. I can't work with someone with such a flimsy sense of conviction. Well, I'm sorry that I don't like to die. Because, let's be realistic, surviving sounds a lot more fun. You reassure him that no, of course not. His shred pods are as toasty as all heck, but he no longer is paying attention to you. His scouter glints. There. He flashes past you before you can blink, riding the waves of his sigh to a collection of rocks sitting behind you. Target acquired. Nice try. I think he could outsmart me by launching an ambush. Cowardly move and very sloppy. Very sloppy. Now prepared to get owned. Resistance is oh fuck. Abruptly at your freeze. You hesitate, unsure as to what sort of threat you're dealing with here. Why, I'm not surprised. But then a troll girl with a cerulean blue symbol on her shirt pops up from behind the rocks. She giggles menacingly, making Azdaja turn towards you. His expression is blank. His nifty brain powers is now under your competitor's control. To echo Azdaja's sentiment, oh fuck. Why am I not surprised? You need to do something fast. You have the harebrained thought that maybe you could grab Azdaja and physically wrest him for her control. I mean, I would not be surprised if that worked, but I would be very surprised. You launch yourself toward them in a mad dash, attempting to call out a chilling bellowing cry, but it comes out more of a pathetically broken yell. The girl laughs again. Azdaja's eyes flash brighter than you've seen so far, almost blinding. Oh, how those are straight-up eye lasers, aren't they? They're really powerful, holy shit. You met some strong trolls, but this power is something else. That does not look fun. If Azdaja was a character in a video game and you were assigned him, quantify a number to measure his power, some kind of level, perhaps that number would be, well, need to be very high, is obvious. It'd be over 9,000. Azdaja's lasers shoot at a point above you, scoring a deep gash in the rock and sending rumble toward, toppling downwards. You reach out, grabbing at Azdaja's coat. You have to get him out of here, if you can, but I highly doubt it, because, let's be realistic, we are a human with no powers. What do you expect us to do? The girl doesn't stop you, merely leaping out of the way of certain doom that's hurtling rapidly toward you. You think that you see something out of the corner of your eye, some lustrous hope at not getting squashed as flat as a grub cake. You race toward it. Your first thought when you come next to open your eyes is the death that has finally come to tenderly cradle you. It is a sweet, loving embrace. Yeah. Is it really a smart choice to go into a cave? I'm just saying, it does not seem like it. But you quickly realize that you're in a cave, not the afterlife. And the reason you can even see anything right now is because the area around you is brightened by a light coming from Azdaja's scouter. Again, why would we go into a cave? It does not seem like the smart. Though, through sheer dumb luck, you must have run toward the single safe spot in the entire ravine. This hole in the ground. It's as if the hole was sitting here, carved out of the rock, waiting for it to be your escape route. You might even say this hole was made for you. Fuck. You wince, covering your ears. Could he keep it down, maybe? Your nerves are a little shot from almost dying for the umpteenth time this week. No, I will not keep it down. Curses. I cannot believe this. Who does that blue blood think she is? Does she realize who she just messed with? Wow, he looks really mad. Instinctively, you reach out to execute that slow face pat thing that trolls seem to find so soothing, but he slaps your hand away. What do you think you're doing? I already told you, I have a morale. You stammer out an apology. It just seems like the right thing to do. Plus, you thought Konyyl was his matesprite. He seems to realize what you said. Hints of yellow touches his cheeks. Just barely. Right, so wait. Well. So. He seems to realize what you just said. A hint of yellow touches his cheek, just barely visible in the light. That's what I said. I already have a matesprite. You're pretty sure that you heard him right the first time. You're also pretty sure that those are two different sort of relationships, but you let the subject drop. No need to rile up a new friend more than it already is. So, morale is friend, matesprite. Morale is the diamond, the matesprite is the heart, flushed heart. Your shush pat might be rejected, but the attempt seems to snap him out of whatever pissed off funk he's gotten himself into. Let's get out of here. I mean, sure, okay, I trust that he knows what he's doing, but still, I am a little nervous for him, especially with what just happened, but... be stupid. If I did that, it would cause a cave-in. And are you that eager to get crushed? Good points. You're just acting like Konyyl. So ready to rush in without a game plan. He means this as an insult. Its effect is kind of lost. He sounds more wishful than irritated. Yeah, kind of. I'm not surprised. What can I say? You walk in silence for a while as you make your walk further into the cave. You realize that the walls aren't blank like you previously thought, but covered in complicated carvings. Cave troll art, you wonder? I know what you're thinking. That life as a prince among trolls must be an inevitable one. You snap to attention. Yes, of course. You were definitely thinking about him and his life story just then. I'd like someone like you to understand. I'm sure I could totally understand if you just give me a shot. You're obviously a complete average person who live out their lives in perfect mediocrity. But not me. You don't know what it's like to be born so gifted. Completely average. That's you, alright? You try your best to be sympathetic. Having rad powers must make things really hard. What? No way, it's fucking awesome. But as you've clearly seen, it can attract unwanted attention from pathetic individuals who aren't nearly as talented as themselves. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's true. Who are so desperate to have some unbeatable psychonics in their corner. To be honest, the Empire's no different, and it's not like the rebels are much better. Konyyl and I don't really care one way or the other. Yeah, sure, okay, let's go with that. And totally not anything else. We're just here to off chumps and get money. We look out for ourselves first and foremost, but eventually we'll be sent off planet to the bidding of the Empress, just like everyone else. Okay, you can see why having no say in the matter kind of sucks, but isn't there an opportunity to do cool stuff in space too? Patrick's face draws up in a wide expression. Yeah, there's someone else calling the shots. You keep walking. I mean, that does kind of sound rough, I suppose, because you can't do all that much, but you can certainly at least do it. But you keep walking. After what feels like hours, his scouter flashes again. We're here. He lets the wall have it with his eye lasers. With the surrounding wall, it crumbles away. Aside from the spy he destroyed, the rest of the cave is intact. Moonlight spills into the space through an impromptu exit. It's over. We are stuck down there for so long that the game has ended. Meaning, your heart sinks. This is a disaster. Aww. At least you're trying. He's definitely not going to want to be your friend after losing this competition he's so invested in. We're the last team standing, which makes us the winners. I knew it. The blue blood loser might have had a stroke of good luck, but she was no match for someone in my station. My victory is foregone conclusion from the start. Sure, okay. Bringing you along was an excellent idea. Recklessness really came in handy back there. He's making you realize, or something close to it. I mean, I suppose that's the case. Sure, let's go with that, I guess. Because you never know. But, I mean, or mostly you, sure, that's no problem. A prince knows when to give credit where credit is due. I guess. Totally. Celebration is in order, I think. Once we collect our prize. There's a prize? Fuck yeah. Jewel Shriders offers an impressive cash reward to whoever wins. You get a cut you'll get a cut as well, of course. Wow, money! This is the first time you've laid your hands on the stuff since you crash landed. Maybe you'll be able to finally purchase a warm meal or clothing that isn't from somebody else's closet. More importantly than the money, though, is that you've proven you aren't a complete fuck-up. You earned Zeo's trust, and also his friendship. Victory! And we got money! Huzzah! I mean, that's definitely the important thing. We got money. That's You eagerly climb up to the side of the rock. Oh wow, this shop is pretty insane, but it's nothing you can't handle. I mean, hopefully. Without plenty of determination and frantic scrambling, hopefully, you finally make it to the top. You're about ready to haul yourself so you can stand, fully ready to introduce yourself and let this guy have it with this generality. Really show him how amicable you can be. Before you can do that though, he whirls around, trench coat and long hair ripping in a right arc. You clumsily scrabble at the rock face and must have clued him into your presence. Heh, did you really think you could sneak up on me? Yeah. His eyes flash, literally. They flicker from blue to turquoise and back again in quick succession. You don't notice the pure white energy crackling at his fingertips until you're already in the air. That's why am I not surprised that he's literally going to kill me because you snuck up on him. When Cuprum lifted you in, it was like getting yanked up by the scruff of your shirt. This is smoother somehow. It's like you just stepped onto a strong breeze. That doesn't change the outcome though. You eye the ground below you nervously. Think again. Wait, you weren't engaging in sneaking around, honest. Oh well, you were, but you didn't mean anything malicious by it. You're just after some quality hangouts. Unfortunately for you, he doesn't get very moved by heartfelt entry. A likely story. You were looking to gank my data to get a frond up on the game. Don't try tonight. You don't know anything about any game. But before you can explain further, you're unceremoniously released. You run through quite the spectrum of emotions as you plunge down, but the strongest by far is regret. Regret you'll emerge from this altercation with sans, which means without, the use of your limbs. If you're lucky, but also without sans a potential new friends. Let's screw this and run away, because let's be real, I don't want to have to deal with saving him, because that's extremely dangerous. Because, yes, dangerous is not my... You know what? You're better than this. Who does this guy think he's trying to turn you into his minion? Everyone keeps expecting you to be useless, and you're tired of it. You accomplish great things. You say, scamping to your feet, kicking up a real hubbub. You're a big deal on your home planet. People practically quiver in your boots when you walk past. And even if you weren't a big deal, even if you were the smallest fry around, you're pretty sure you can take whatever he could dish out. No, you literally can't. He's just a greedy nerd asshole who looks like he fell out of an IT department straight into a discount bin of a bad Matrix cosplay cast-off. You have no idea what you're doing. Absolutely nothing that you said about yourself is true. During hot air, pure vitriol running off on the metacom of confidence you built up, bluffing your way through a variety of mishaps you've encountered before now. You throw up your hands when you're done, both out of expiration and kind of an ending flourish to your little speech. I'm just a little disappointed by this, because I'm just disappointed, that's all I can say. There's a deafening rumble behind you. When you turn around, it's just in time to see one of the outcrops shudder dramatically into a pile of detritus. Your eyes go wide. Either the rock was already weakened and chose this moment to break, resulting in the best coincidence ever, or you have a secret telekinetic powers of your own that you've never known about till now. It grants you venting session a healthy dose of gravitas. Why I'm not surprised that I am just completely guessing. Adros looks at you with a complicated expression of his face, like he's mad at you, but also like you paid him a really nice compliment. What a brazen proposition. What? Proposition? If you're proposing rather anything, it's for him to consider you an equal rather than some kind of sidekick, after all. That's all. Let me tell you something, alien. I've heard things through the spherical fruit string about someone else in my line of work who's cried a story recently. Alerts have been blowing up saying a cold-blooded girl assassinated a sea dweller. I had reason to suspect she showed herself here today. I was looking forward to seeing if she's as good as the rumors say she is. A gold-blooded girl, that's what the alerts say. But as one of the best mercenaries in the business, I know better. They must have been wearing a disguise. He points a finger at you. You, despite not being an Italian origin, have a record. You've shown up here to a dueling session in a rumpus robe and nubs tits. He indicates a flowing ground field, which could easily be another disguise to throw the drones off your scent. And he's so graciously just demonstrating you're powerful. You're easily the most suspicious person I've come across here yet. I should have known this was coming really. Like, why am I not surprised? Because it's just... You realize that he's been floating gradually higher and higher in the air as if he's talking to you, until he's hovering over you almost predatorily. Shit, what have you done? If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you'll get. His eyes light up and a blue ball beam explodes the rocks next to you. You turn tail and run, but he follows, trailing along behind you like some kind of angry helium balloon. He doesn't stop shooting at you, and you can feel the lasers rushing past you, rustling your hair and clothes as they cut through the air. I think we're probably screwed. Why am I surprised? Just because it's like, he has alien powers, what are we gonna do? He's powerful, and takes your breath away. So, you would be in awe if you weren't busy running for your life. You almost wish you had some sort of device that would measure just how powerful he is. Except no. Not really. On second thought, knowing his exact level would probably be so frustrating that you would immediately break whatever device that would call for with your bare hands. Yeah, because his power level is over 9,000. As strong as he is, though, you can't help but notice that none of his shots are all close to hitting you. It's more like he's trying to intimidate you, provoking you to fight back. We're not gonna fight back, because if I did, I would most certainly be dead, which is not what I want to do. You get away from him as quickly as possible before any of his blasts actually connect. Before you know it, your scurrying feet have taken you back to where you started, the train station, which just honestly, it's better than probably what you wanted before, so at least it's something, I guess? I don't know if it's the best choice. That's the best I can say. Would you quit running around like a cluck of geese with a severed think pan? You come on to me and now you won't follow through. Get back here and fight! You seem to manage to both pick a fight and hit on him simultaneously. Maybe he thinks you want that hate man spades thing with him? God. You just wanted to be friends, and then you might have lost your temper a little. This is all just a big misunderstanding. He isn't listening to you. Another blast zips past you, dangerously close to your ear this time. You scan the area frantically for cover. I don't think we're gonna be able to get out of this, but at least we can certainly try. There, a structure near the tracks that looks like it might be some kind of mechanized ticket booth. You dive behind it. I'm growing impatient, alien. Cease this game of hunt and squeeze her and face me. A beam hits your makeshift shield, blowing a hole straight through it. You stumble backwards, close to the tracks. Oh no. Oh fuck, this is it. You're going to be murdered in cold blood by this guy who can shoot pure energy out of his eyes. Exactly. And there's nothing you can do about it. You squeeze your eyes shut, bracing for impact. All of a sudden, there's a distant rushing sound. You'd forgotten what this station was even for in the first place. The train is arriving. Maybe someone on it will be willing to help you. Not like Italians seem to have a good track record of helping folk, but the needs of the goodness of their hearts. But damn it, it's only chance you got. Magia is distracted by the train's arrival for only a moment before turning toward you again. But then a figure climbs out of one of the train carriages. A figure that's large, hulking, and one that you recognize. Azdaja? What the hell are you doing? Why are you attacking my friends? Friends? You know the squabs for Sponge? Why didn't you tell me? They're the assassin I've been looking for. What? You idiot! You're no assassin. When I met them, they freaked over a little blood. They've never even killed before. What? What about their powers? This is great. This is great, because Konnyl squints at you like she's thinking very hard about what your more exceptional qualities might be. Well, they're pretty good at falling on their ass and freaking out in the middle of a crisis and being squishable. Azdaja's expression goes cold. His eyes stop flashing. Still looks like he could kill you with his glare alone. I see. So that's why you're running away. You're lying. But an immature ruse. Ah, God. Yeah, sure, it's a ruse, but I still want to be treated with respect. So, that's something at least, but I doubt anything will come of it. You can't help but feel a little bad for pulling the wool over his eyes, even though you were fearing for your life until just a few seconds ago. Azdaja seems to trust Konnyyl's words implicitly. Now that you've been exposed as nothing but a regular Joe, he seems to have lost all interest in you. Konnyl is beginning to think he's kept out of this event. Of course not. I missed the Omni Scuttle Caravan, and the desert has a shitty reception so I couldn't call. You know that. That's right. Well, I'm glad you made it. I've let myself get distracted by this peon for long enough. Let's go strife some losers, own their nooks in battle, and profit. Fuck yeah! I love to stay in chat, kid, but there's a bunch of cults in that canyon, with my name all over them. Later! That's great. I applaud this because it's great. Watch wistfully as I set back toward the canyon. If only you hadn't lost your temple and lied out your ass like an idiot, you might have been walking along with them. Instead, you're here alone, which I'm not. On the ground, new friendship having slipped through your fingers like this desert sands. Left alone. And with that, this episode here. I hope you have a good day, night, week, month of your life, and may the stars forever guide your path, wherever it might lead you into the future. Bye-bye.